Welcome back. This is Create by Fire, and this is monthly monetization. In this video, we're going to go video by video for everything that was created 2 months ago and go over the 30-day growth, as well as everything created last month and go over the initial stats. We'll also be going over channel stats as a whole, the Amazon affiliate link stats, and the trajectory based on the current growth. So let's get into it. All right, so jumping over to the videos. This first section of videos, I'm just going to blast through because there isn't a lot of updates. So the first video for November was the YouTube Chronicles week 5. The stats are basically the same as last month, so I won't, or actually they are the same as last month, so I won't even bother opening that up. Monthly monetization month 1. Stats are mostly the same. There was 3 views added, but it lost 0.3 watch time hours. So, you know, that's how YouTube likes to be, randomly take away stats for no reason. But it did end up adding a subscriber, so that was a good addition. Let's see, after that was the settings video. So the top 15 YouTube settings. That one, stats are mostly the same. It did add 1 view, but that's about it. Week 6, we have all the same stats as last month. Week 7, added 2 views, mostly the same stats. Then after that was the speed run video, which also only added 1 view. So most of these things have barely changed, which is why I'm just zooming through them. The compilation video, which, you know, of course did terrible. It still has terrible stats. In fact, so terrible that it doesn't even have a retention graph yet, which, you know, it requires X number of views. I don't really know. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15, but some quantity of views that it hasn't reached yet. So it doesn't have retention. It also lost all of its watch time hours. I mean, I've seen it lose watch time hours before, but it was at 0.8 and now it's at 0 and it has 4 views. I don't know. You tell me. This is the first video though that started getting the drop of sub 1,000 impressions, and then it kind of is doing that from here on for a while. All right, so from here, we'll go ahead and dive in a little bit deeper on each of these now that we're reaching into December. Still, some of these are going to be pretty quick. So here's week 9 YouTube Chronicles, and this is the first video from December. Last month, the average percent viewed was 51.9%. Now it's finally come to a realistic number. It's at 25.3, still pretty high compared to my average. I think it's 17% or so, but it's come back to a realistic amount. Also, last month, the retention curve was very blocky with only a few steps, and now it's kind of smoothed out, but generally speaking, it's still more or less the same retention throughout the video, which is still a higher than average retention rate for my videos. So still good. Now, last month, this video was only about 2 days in when I was doing the recording for the monetization. However, not a lot has changed since then. So I pretty much all the stats I think that were going to be had were already had. It did gain 1 view. Now, I know this graph says this is 3 days in, but I believe it wasn't quite 3 days yet. But they switch around kind of when views happen and that sort of thing. But in terms of total views, the last time I looked at this and this time, it's only increased by 1, and it lost 0.2 watch time hours. So, you know, it's one of those kind of situations. All right, so the next video is the monthly monetization month 2. So that is this one here. Now this one had a huge retention drop off right away. It basically went all the way down. I mean, it shows that it takes 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So I guess from that perspective, it wasn't right away, but you know, from the perspective of what the graph looks like, that's right away. But all the retention was basically lost within the first 3 minutes, with the drop all the way down to 14%. And then it kind of held on for most of that for a while, and then it went to 0 and eventually a little pop back up, probably to see the ending, maybe the fireball, that sort of thing. Speaking of which, I haven't really decided if I'm going to do the fireball at the end of this video or not. So we'll see. Still at the beginning of the recording. So we'll see what I feel like when I get to the end of it. It just takes a while to kind of come up with new ideas for that and to actually go ahead and edit it all and that sort of thing. So I've been considering just cutting that out. So going ahead and looking at the stats here. got view duration, average percent viewed, and we have kind of below average on the total views. So we're at 19. Let me switch this to views. So we're for this time period, which is, you could consider it the end of it. The average normally would be 20 to 30, and this one only hit 19. So a little bit below average. And then as for average percent viewed, it's only 7.1%, which is far below average. However, in terms of average for long videos like this, it probably is about what it normally would be. I don't know for sure. I'd have to check what the other ones look like, but longer videos, if people are going to watch for a certain quantity of time, of course, this percent's going to be lower. So next we have YouTube Chronicles week 10. And for this one, we have a pretty good retention rate, generally speaking, 30 some percent, 32.9% average. It holds on fairly well. From that perspective, it's pretty good. The views are a bit subpar, only 14 views and 0.5 watch time hours. But it did get 1 subscriber. So, and this is still the trend of low impressions. This one only has 420. I really don't know what to say on impressions. I've seen it go all over the place, from really super high into the thousands to really low into the 300, 400, 500 range. And it never seems to really matter what I do in that regard. It just kind of does whatever the hell it wants to do. So, but the redeeming quality for this one is, besides the 1 subscriber, is the 33% average percent viewed. So that's pretty good. Next up, we have the almighty monthly compilation, which of course does very poorly. These ones, I have AI generated thumbnails, but they're just compilation videos. So it's very much hit or miss on whether or not those are going to do anything at all. It did get 2 views though, but that's not enough to get a retention graph, so we don't have that. And of course, 0 watch time hours. So, is the view really worth it when it gets no watch time? I don't know. But so for the average view duration, it is 58 seconds. So 2 at an average of 58, that's only 2 minutes, right? Now, both the first compilation and the second compilation, this one here, weren't using the notify subscribers thing. On the third monthly compilation, I will go ahead and put that in. I don't really know if that'll make any difference at all. It probably won't, but I just want to try it out and see if it does anything different in terms of impressions. This one is all the way down to 181 impressions, and it's been out for almost a month. 2, 3, 4, I don't exactly know. 3 weeks at least. So we'll see what month 3 does. Now on to the last of the regular non-content videos for December. December in general was very spotty. You can tell there wasn't very many videos. It was just these right here for channel videos. So not a whole lot happened. One was a compilation, one was monthly monetization, and then there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 YouTube Chronicles. So in general, not a lot of videos put out for December, but a lot of that has to do with being busy with preparing for Christmas and other things like that. So I only got a few things out. So let's go ahead and look at week 11. Now, this one is the first YouTube Chronicles, I think, that I haven't gotten enough views for retention. So that's obviously a bad sign. Retention's dropping. You could blame it on Christmas. You could blame it on whatever, but it's probably just the generally low quality of the videos. I try, but this one did not reach 10. I think 10 is what you need to get a graph. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the stats here. Average view duration and average percent viewed. And the views that it did get were all very, very early on. So within the first 3 hours. After that, though, it was completely flat. It did get a lot of impressions. So this one shot back up in impressions. We're up to almost 2,000 with this one, but still only 8 views. And the average view duration was only 1 minute. And that's a little bit sad because it's only a 5-minute video, right? So you think people would watch it all the way through if they're going to watch it, but they don't. So that's 8 minutes in total from this. But it is, I guess, the average view percentage viewed that I usually get, so 17-ish%. So it's within the same ballpark as what I usually get. And then just to check out the impressions, since this was a bit high, you do see that it shot up all at the beginning. So, 2,000 impressions within the first 3 hours, and then flatline, more or less. All right, so moving on to the two newest videos. We have, these are content videos. So Black Ops Multiplayer Episode 1, and then the highlights video after that. So we'll take a look here. Of course, it doesn't have any retention yet. It's only had 3 views, which were clearly short views because the average view duration was 2 seconds. So obviously, that's actually kind of surprising that it's so low. I mean, not because it's a great video or anything, but just you click the video, 3 people, they click the video and they're out like instantly. Don't even wait for to see any content at all. Like, why'd you click the video then? But so low impressions, once again, 210. I did put this as notify subscribers. Doesn't seem to make any difference for this video, so it probably won't for the compilation video like I was talking about doing for that one. But I'm not too worried about the way these ones have gone so far. First of all, I just put them out. I know that it's almost 4 days in for this one, and I've talked about before that 4 days is kind of the death of the video, at least for my channel. But I think I want to see where this one goes. I'm going to just keep putting these out. I enjoy making them because I enjoy playing games, and I am getting kind of better at how I'm going to go about these videos as well, like in terms of editing and that sort of thing. So this is the first of many videos I'm going to be doing. So this is a multiplayer one. I also have zombies. I also have Warzone. Those are all Black Ops 6. Eventually I'll do campaign as well. But I'll have these different categories of these videos, and then I'll put out episodes of them and do highlights and that sort of thing for each one. Now this video here is 4.5 hours. The highlights, I think, is 47 minutes or something like that. So this is a longer video, but this also kind of goes hand in hand with maybe doing these live as well. I'm not there yet to want to do that, but I might consider doing that in the future. So this video is the last video of December. This one was just released on Monday of this week, and the highlights was released on Wednesday. That's kind of the idea I'm trying to go with, is Monday for the main video, Wednesday for the highlights video, and just go back and forth like that. We'll see where this video ends up next month, but I don't anticipate much more activity than it already has, as the usual 4-day death. But, it'll be still interesting to take a look and see if anything changes. If you are interested in gaming, I would say at least take, and especially Black Ops or something like that, I would at least take a look at the highlights video. I think that one is more action-packed, more maybe digestible to watch. I know it's 47 minutes, but it's also like 47 minutes of the reduction from 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So it also has an entertaining intro, so you should check that out. And lastly, we have the highlights video, and this one has 1 view and 0.8 watch time hours. I'm not going to trust that watch time hours just because, YouTube loves to yank that away. So we'll see what it looks like next month. And also we'll see how it grows, because it is only the second day, barely, not even exactly. And so death day is day 4. So we still have a little bit of potential time for it to grow. I do, once again, encourage you to watch that. It has some entertainment value, especially in that beginning section. Made a whole intro bit for that, and I think it's all right. I'll be making a new one, though, because I ran into some copyright stuff, sort of. Basically, I got some music that was, free to use, but then when you try to actually use it, then it gets flagged as copyright. But then they just, like, the owner of it can decide what to do, and they say, not going to do anything, basically. But the problem is it does have an effect on YouTube. At the very least, it won't let you select the license type. So you have to just select the standard license. And then also I was looking up stuff on that, and maybe it might not account towards your watch time hours for the 4,000 watch time hours you need, or maybe it does. I'm not really sure. Either way, it's going to be way safer if I just get rid of that music. I'll keep it for these first 2 because whatever. I'll probably use it for a few more as well, just because I already made the intro. But I am going to be switching to a new bit of music that my son actually made, and I'll start using that for the intros. So once again, we'll see where this one takes us next month after 30 days. 468 impressions, not bad so far, I guess. Hopefully it shoots up a bit more. Hopefully I get a few more views as well and some more watch time hours. It really could use some more of that, especially for December, since I didn't put out as many videos. It just ultimately aggregated to not quite as much. And that covers all of the channel videos. All right, let's move on to channel stats. So I'm going to compare first to the stats kind of from last month. So average percentage viewed is 14.5%. So there was a decrease. It was 17.6% last month. 2 minutes and 20 seconds average view time. Last month it was 2 minutes and 24 seconds, which, that's roughly the same. The number of views went up by 70-ish. So 711, it was 640. And then for impressions, we were at 32,634. So up another 5,000-ish. The click-through rate is basically the same. And for watch time hours and subscribers, it did go up, but I'll cover that when we get to the trajectory section. All right, so clearly from this chart up here, we have views that are declining. Now, to be fair, this is the top videos, right? So it's only showing the top 5 videos. So I'll switch to total in a second here, but we do have a decline for the top 5 over time. And for watch time, similar kind of effect. For impressions, now this one is kind of the opposite, sort of, but then it peaks over here at the end of November, and then it fell right back off. So with that, we'll go ahead and switch it to total. So this is the aggregation between all of them. So this one is a bit more stable, but obviously there is still a trend downward, especially for the month of December, where I wasn't pushing out videos until right here, basically at the end of December into January. And so we'll see how that might change as I push out more videos again, as I start to get ramped up. Let's check out watch time hours. It's going to be pretty similar. Actually, this one held out a little bit better overall. And subscribers, that of course is going to have a big lump at the beginning and pretty flat after that, which I guess there's a few bumps throughout here. So I'd consider that a win. And then total impressions. So we had the initial bit that was kind of, so amount, and then it started to all of a sudden rise up and rise up and rise up. And then, here it just dropped immediately back down. And this is where we started getting like nothing for every video again, like, a few hundred views per video or a few hundred impressions per video. And then we had that one I showed earlier that it shot up to 2,000 and then immediately back down to nothing again. So I really do not understand the algorithm at all. As soon as I start to think that I'm figuring some things out, I get slapped in the face with this. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how to control it by any clear measures or methods. So I'm not going to go into too much here because honestly, there isn't a lot to cover. The total growth was minimal overall. And part of that is because the numbers have been just worse, but part of it also because I wasn't posting as many videos throughout the month of December compared to November, compared to October. So we'll see how January turns around. There's nothing really in through here that I can take a look at except for maybe device type, checking out the percentages there. So I think it's starting to gain a little bit with computer, but I wouldn't say that's very notable at the moment considering the low numbers anyway. So not sure how to read that. Traffic source. Once again, because of the dead area here, I wasn't pushing out videos. Of course, I don't have any numbers throughout this range, and all of this has already been seen before. So the only real notable stuff is like the new channel page views related to maybe the Black Ops videos. Anyway, so that's all we'll cover for channel stats for now. We'll see where we're at next month and how this might compare. All right, so now we'll go ahead and move on to Amazon affiliate links. So this month we got 62 clicks. So that brings us to a total of 227 clicks. And we have 14 new purchases, which is a total of 33 purchases. But most interestingly, we did get some revenue of $3.60. I don't really know if that's been sent or not. When I go to the payment history, there isn't really anything here to tell me about it. So I'm guessing it just hasn't been enough time yet, because I don't think they pay right away, right? I think it's like every 30 days or something like that. So, but it does say unpaid balance 0. I don't really know. So we'll find out later of what that might mean. But it did get a commission of $3.60. So that was kind of neat. And that's definitely different than what I have been seeing, where it just always says commission is 0. And like I said before, that's because or at least I'm 90% sure that it's all because of being related to friends and family, and that doesn't count towards commission. But it is nice to see that there was an order, because that means that that's one of 3, I think. I don't remember the rules, but something like you have to have 3 purchases within a 6-month time frame or something like that to keep your account going. So that's number 1 out of 3, I think. And we're already like halfway through that 6-month time period. So I'm going to need to get some more purchases. If you want to help out with that, you can always just click one of the links and purchase anything at all on Amazon. It doesn't have to be the item that you clicked a link for, but in my videos in the description section, I have all the Amazon affiliate links. If you go there and make purchases within 24 hours or something like that, then it counts towards this, and I get, revenue, which I'm less concerned about the revenue and more concerned about keeping the account open, right? So $3.60, not game changing by any means, but it is nice to see that there was some sort of money. So this is the first earnings. I haven't received it in my bank account yet, so I'm not really going to totally consider it earnings until I see it. But this is the first earnings out of anything of this YouTube related stuff at all. So it's kind of interesting. We'll see what it looks like later, and I'll probably look around these pages some more to see if there's any other things that are interesting related to this. I'll find out. All right, so based on the current stats, the trajectory isn't that great, of course, as it hasn't been. So we're at 51 out of 1,000 subscribers, and that's 5.1%. And then, so that's up 3 from last month's 48. So not a big jump. 27 watch time hours, which is 0.68% of the way there out of 4,000, right? And that's up 2 from 25 from last month. So really not a big jump at all there. 2 watch time hours. I mean, it's pretty minimal, but I'm hoping some of this gameplay content will help with that. And there was only 6 videos released since the last, monetization videos. So that also helps count towards that, or count away from that, I suppose. So this is now, all of this is over the course of 97 days. So that's September 28th until today, which is, I guess, technically the 4th now, but I'm counting it towards the 3rd. And so that is 1,902 days to hit the subscribers based on this trajectory. And that would be March 20th, 2030, which is up about 2 years from last month's estimation based on the trajectory, right? And obviously the more months that it goes on where we're getting very little subscribers compared to that first month, the more this is going to be stretched out like that. So it's just going to keep getting worse unless it starts to pick up significantly from where it is. And then for watch time hours, that's based on the trajectory, that's 14,923 days for watch time hours, and that's November 12th, 2065. So we're just inches away from that one. Compared to last month, that was February 3rd, 2054. So that's a jump of over a decade. So we're cruising along. I know, obviously, these stats are useless to think about until the numbers are much bigger. It's like, I don't know, trying to dump out all the water out of a lake by taking a cup and just scooping it out. And it's like, okay, when is that going to be done? Well, pretty much never, right? You're going to have to do something better than that. So I'm hoping some of these content videos will do that. I was also hoping to already have a bunch of the content videos out well before this in earlier part of December, but I just couldn't get to it. I never got around to it with the time. And so I got to them at the end of the month. These first ones might not do well. I'm going to keep putting them out. I have plenty stacked up that just need to be edited and put together and put out. I'm going to keep those rolling, and hopefully that turns these numbers around. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to join me on my journey from zero to YouTube hero. This is Create by Fire.